Hey everyone, welcome to another one-year review. Today we're checking out the Epiphone Casino Worn. So I want to start by saying that after having this guitar for a year and using it a little bit more in depth, my impression is very good, and if anything has only gotten more positive. I really like this guitar, and at $500 it's an absolute steal. Honestly, there it is right there. There are some little idiosyncrasies and things, but I'm very, very impressed with this guitar. I've always liked Epiphone Casinos, many of you know this. I want to start by addressing a couple of things that I talked about in my initial review that both are still kind of true. Anyway, one of the first things is that this guitar has a great finish. It has this cool satin finish, this worn finish, matte finish. I don't know exactly which one it is. It's something like that. It's a very, very nice finish. It's definitely more worn. It's not like worn like it's relict, but it's not just your typical matte or satin finish. There's like it's a little bit of sink to it. You can almost feel the wood grain a little bit. Now, I never have done a sponsored review with Epiphone. When I got this guitar, I got it new. I believe we got it from Zounds. It came with this weird, almost residue on it. And I sort of mistakenly mentioned that, well, I played some like sort of scratchiness on the fingerboard, and which is part of it, but many of you mentioned fret polishing, and I kind of just portrayed that wrong. It had this like stuff on it. It's not like, you'd kind of rub your hand over it and get like greasy or anything like that. It was just this weird guy that I know described this on a Mighty Might neck that I got once, and he said it's a fine neck, but it has the import neck cheese on it. And I was like, yes, what is that? This is kind of like with this one. So the first time I used this for full gig, like my fingers were black by the end of it. And it took a couple of good uses to sort of wear it in to kind of get it going. And when I restrung it the first time, I really gave it a pretty heavy, deep clean. I don't know what this stuff is. It did come with that on it. Is that detrimental to the guitar? No. But just be aware that kind of, if you clean it up a little bit and put some elbow grease into the guitar, it kind of goes away. Just very, very bizarre. Now, I'm on the fence about the electronics of this guitar. I think it could stand an upgrade, which I mentioned in the first one, but I don't think it needs it at the same time. So I'm refuting my own point, I realize that, but this one comes with CTS pots. Now, that's sort of a selling feature, supposed to be a selling feature for it. CTS pots don't necessarily thrill me. I don't think they're really that grand. I certainly don't think they're an awful lot better than much else out there. I think there are some other pots that are out there that are better. We are really, really like focusing in on the tone here. The amount of difference that makes. Like a really good pot versus a really cheap pot. Yeah, there's a big difference, but kind of in the middle, it's not going to make that much of a difference. The Epiphone P90 Pros are pretty good. The interesting thing about this guitar is it definitely is a little bit warmer there's a bit more sag to the tone. It doesn't quite have the same punchy snap that some of my other casinos have. But I actually found that I like that for use with effects, and sometimes using it live, you can kind of sink into the guitar a little bit more. Whereas some of the other casinos, it's right on top. In that sense, tonally, it actually reminds me more of an Epiphone Elitist Casino, which had the same thing. The pickups were a little bit darker, but definitely had more sag and squish to them. So that's a good thing, I think. Regarding the electronics and the pickups, basically what I found with it is they suit the guitar, they sound and work well, and because it's a hollow body guitar, and if any of you have ever rewired a hollow body guitar, you know it is not a fun thing to do. Because it's a hollow body guitar, I really don't think it's necessarily worthwhile to go changing all kinds of stuff, because I don't want to say it's just like, it's good enough. That's sort of bringing it down a little too far. Maybe the jump up wouldn't be enough to justify the work. That's what I found. Because I was going to change the electronics, and I thought about changing the pickups, and then I played it a little bit, and I thought, this guitar has some good mojo just as it is, and I don't really want to go through all that work just to bring it up that much, So that's kind of what I found about that. Now, being a fully hollow body guitar, yeah, if you play it in the wrong setting, it feeds back like a banshee. That's just the nature of the beast, and I'm going to share a clip here actually from Jam in Rehearsal. This is at my bass player Max's studio. Many of you might have seen this in some of my original music shots and videos and things. But this is a big, well soundproof studio, and it's very, very good acoustically. It's not like a little boxy room, and you'll hear that there's some squealing going on. Now, obviously, feedback, yeah, that has to do with a lot of different things. Has to do with the amp that you pair it with, has to do with the effects that you pair it with. It has a lot to do with the room that you're in. I played this at an outdoor gig, and it did just fine. But if you're playing at a lot of small indoor clubs and you use gain, this is probably not the guitar for you. Again, all that being said, this is a great Epiphone Casino. I'm truly amazed that they're only $500, particularly nowadays when everything has just been kind of crazy price hiked. I think this guitar is a steal. I love the finishes. I think it's really cool that Epiphone decided to do some different finishes. On other Epiphones that I've had in the past, I've had major hardware problems with, tuners that don't tune, nuts that are poorly cut, bridge rattling, switches that don't work, you name it. I've not had any problems with this one, and I will say that this is also the only Epiphone that I've owned that is since I think it was 2017, Gibson changeover, where they really tried to up their quality on a lot of stuff after some big sort of corporate moves. So in that sense, I'm impressed. I can't really say for sure, because the thing is with older Epiphone guitars, you would get one that would play like $1 million, and then you'd get another one that was just like just didn't work. I mean, not even like wasn't a great guitar. I mean, like literally pieces of it wouldn't work. So I can't say for sure, but what I will say is that this one works great. The quality is really, really good, and it's a guitar that I've enjoyed using. So I'm just going to play you some of my favorite tones with it, including use with some effects. I think that's significant to the Epiphone Casino.
How are we supposed to know what the tone of the guitar is if you're just playing through effects? Might as well be listening to anything.
Oh, stop it. If you want to hear a total tonal profile of the guitar, feel free to check out my original demo of this guitar, where I do go through all the pickups clean and overdriven. Now I'm just going to share with you some of my favorite tones and things. Please let us know. Do you have an Epiphone Casino Warren? Do you have another Epiphone Casino? What other one do you have? Is this one you've had your eye on? I'm Jack Fossett. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the video.